Well, students, now in continuation with the functions of management, as we have discussed planning and organizing, we'll start with the third function of management, that is staffing. Now, what is staffing? First of all, we should understand what is staffing. It is the process of filling all positions in the organization with adequate and qualified person. See, the word advocate means, for example, you are running a university and you are having a medical course, okay? You are having an MBBS course over there, or BAMS or BPharm, or any medical course is there. So, and you have appointed a faculty who is an MBA or PhD in management in commerce, and it is that person is qualified in one sense but is not advocate for the medical course as a faculty of medical course, or vice versa, that you have appointed an MBBS doctor to teach financial management in MBA. So do you think that those position and the person who is being appointed for that particular position is advocate? No. He or she is qualified. No doubt they are qualified, but they are not advocate for the position on which they are being appointed. So staffing is finding the right person for the right job. It consists of human resource planning, recruitment, selection, training, compensation, integration, and maintenance of employees. Staffing function become important with growing size of organization, technological advancement, and recognition of the human factor in industry. You can basically define it as the process of hiring and developing the required personnel. See, the word required or the advocate or apt or the right is very proper word for staffing, where you will see that you have actually appointed or recruited the right person for the right job. And this function mainly plays an important role for filling the various positions in the organization. And until and unless you have a staff, proper staff, advocate staff with you, your planning and organizing will result in way if you don't have any person or any human resource with you to work upon those planning or decisions that you have taken. And organizing is also basically you are organizing the resources available with you. So, and human resource is one of the most important and unique resource that we have on this earth, and it is, you should see that how you will utilize this resource, and the utilization of this resource can be done in the best way only if you have the right person for the right job. And now after staffing comes directing. See, initially you plan something, then you organize the resources. In organizing or after organizing, the one resource that you need to see is human resource, and you have staffing for them. Now it is, you are required to give directions to the people, to the employees you have recruited or appointed for your organization to achieve your organizational objective. Directing is the managerial function of guiding, supervising, motivating, and leading people towards the attainment of planned targets of performance. In the process of directing subordinates, a manager takes active steps to ensure that the employees accomplish their task according to the established plans. It is the executive function of management because it is concerned with the execution of plans and policies, and direction initiates organized action and sets the whole organizational machinery into action. You have made a plan, you have organized things, now you have people with you, but it is you who have to tell them what is to be done, how they will do it. You will give them directions, you will supervise them, you will guide them, with the fact that you will keep them motivated to do their work for the accomplishment of the organizational goal. In this, basically the role of manager is to not only to instruct or supervise or guide, but to counsel and motivate also. Because until and unless you are in the position or you are in the mind frame of counseling and motivating your employees, you can't expect a better outcome out of them. they may work, but still the productivity will not be that much had it been when you have motivated them enough, or counseled them enough to be a part of your organization, and you are providing them with such an environment that they are happy being a part of your organization, and they are working very effectively and efficiently. The productivity will double. It in most of the cases, the productivity of the team, or the efficiency, or the output of the team depends on the leader of the team, or the manager of the organization. And it is not just that the person, he or she, who is holding the position will affect the output or the productivity of the team. It is how he deals with the team, how he directs his team. So directing is also a very important function. And in this, I'll repeat, it is not just providing directions to your employees, like this is to be done and how it is to be done. It is not just giving them directions, it is showing them the path on which they will move ahead to achieve the organizational objective, with the aim that they will be keep that with the aim that you'll keep them motivated throughout the process. And if in any case any of your employee need any sort of counseling, or he is not meeting your expectations at that time, it is you are one who is responsible to counsel that particular employee and provide him with the necessary guidance or assistance or directions. Directing function activities includes issuing orders and instructions, supervising people at work, motivation, or it is creating willingness to work, communication, where you'll establish understanding with the employees regarding plans and their implementation, and the last is leadership, or influencing the behavior of employees, as we have already discussed what directing is. So these all activities in totality in results to direct, where you'll be providing certain orders and instructions, or you'll be giving certain orders and instructions to the employees. You'll be supervising their work. How are they performing? Are they performing in the right way? Someone is lagging behind, or someone is doing good, or he needs some motivation, he needs some guidance, he needs some directions. It is you have to supervise that work shall be done in the proper way and in the stipulated time what has been assigned by the middle management or the top management to you. It is your aim, it is your responsibility to keep your staff motivated, and just initiate a willingness to work in them. And it is you only can do that if you will treat them in a proper manner, and if you keep them motivated, and you'll keep counseling them for any problem they come across the work of the organization. Communication, what communication is? Communication is conveying your message, or passing on your message to the other person in the manner, or in the sense that he completely understands what is being asked from him, or what is being told to him. So it is very necessary for a manager, for a leader, to communicate the action plan to his subordinates in a way that they clearly understand what is to be done and how it is to be. And if in any case they find some problems, they find some difficulties, so they can come back to the manager, to the leader, and ask for a better solution or the alternative that could be uh, adopted. Leadership or influencing behavior of employees is one and the same thing. Like, it is the person who has assigned the task to them is himself or herself responsible more than his team to get the work done in a proper way. And it is his leadership skills or the way he influences employees will affect or will impact the output or the productivity of his team. So here, directing or providing directions to your team plays a very important role. After directing comes coordinating. It is now you have planned something, you started organizing. After organizing, you have staff with you, you have appointed some people for the work that is being required to be done. And now you have directed them, you have told them what is to be done. After that, it is now you have to see that the team, that the workers under you are working in a well coordinated effort. Because until and unless a team works in a coordinated manner, the results of the team will never be what were desired. You can't expect two members of a team or four members of a team to work to run in four different directions without coordination between them. Coordinating refers to harmonizing and integrating the activities and efforts of different individuals into teamwork. It requires the unification of diverse and specialized activities towards the achievement of a common goal. Coordination, a manager secures unity of action in the pursuit of a common purpose, like the conductor of an orchestra does. Like you must have seen that how the this person whom we call conductor organizes or coordinates the entire orchestra with single simple signs of him or simple actions of him, and it is they all work in such a coordination that they produce a wonderful music to be to the audience, and all present there enjoys the orchestra's performance. Just because the conductor or the person who is coordinating that entire team, entire orchestra has a smooth coordination, provides a smooth coordination with this team. A manager interprets and explains the goals and policies of the organization to his subordinates. Manager integrates the efforts of different employees to ensure that they work as a team. It involves the integration of the various parts of the organization. Mean that you are coordinating with your team, or you are looking after the coordination of your team only. Coordination at the end of manager means that you are coordinating, or you are uh, working towards the coordination of your team with the other teams as well, inside and outside the organization. Like coordination is a function of management where you ensure that different departments and different groups work in sync, they work in a synchronized manner. Like if I am working for something and the other faculty or the other person is working for something, but if together our efforts are counted together, we will see that then both of us are working in such a manner that we are working towards the achievement of the organization's or and university's goal. This is coordination. It is never expected from you being a part of the organization that you are working towards the achievement of your personal goals, but you are not working towards your organizational goals. And same is with the other person of the team or the organization. And for example, also I'll say that see, like you have one examination department in the university, the your department where you have your classes and your syllabus is completed. So it is the coordination between these two only that you'll have your exams only when your syllabus is completed. Or it is, you can say that by the time your exam will start, your teachers will complete your syllabus because they are working with coordination. They will not, your university will not expect you to complete the syllabus once exams are over. University will expect you to complete the syllabus within the given time frame, so that both of the teams, examination cell and academic cell, will work together to have you on board for your exams with the completed syllabus and revised syllabus. This is the coordination. Same ways, like your placement cell is working for you, and they are providing you with all assistance or all the classes or all these sessions to prepare you for the placement, but they are not calling any company in the organization for your placement. So will that effort work? No, it needs coordination with the other external environment as well, where they will call the companies for your placement, and you will sit in the interview and you will qualify the interview and you will be placed. So this is the coordination where every team or every member of the organization is working towards the attainment of organizational objective. And what is the objective of a university? The objective of any university is educate their students in a well detailed manner so that they understand all the concepts of the course and finally they get placed. So all the teams are working together to achieve this objective, to provide the better placement opportunities to the students of the university and to provide them with the detailed concept understanding of the course. This is coordinating, and without coordinating you can't expect your team to provide you the fruitful or the desired results. What is controlling? Controlling is, for example, like you must have seen in your daily lives as well, that एट टाइम पेरेंट्स से कि बेटा आपको कंट्रोल करना चाहिए था, आपको थोड़ा पढ़ाई करनी चाहिए थी, आपके मार्क्स कम आए, अब थोड़ा कंट्रोल करो, अब थोड़ा चीज़ों को ठीक करो. व्हाट डज इट मीन? इट इज दे वर एक्सपेक्टिंग अ वेरी गुड परफॉर्मेंस आउट ऑफ योरसेल्फ, but still you have not worked hard and you have scored very less marks, or even you have failed in few subjects. So in that case, what was expected and what actually you got, comparison between those two things, your actual performance and your desired performance, the variation between these two terms is something that requires control. Controlling is the process of ensuring that the organization is moving in the desired direction and the progress is being made towards the achievement of. The process of controlling involves the following steps. First, it is establishing standards for measuring work performance, measurement of actual performance and comparing it with these standards, finding variance between the two performances and the reasons therefore, taking corrective action for correcting deviations to ensure attainment of objectives. The goal of your organization, for example, was to have achieve a turnover of 1000 crores by the end of this financial year. But it is for some reasons you could achieve the turnover of 800 crores only. So the deviation of this 200 crores is something where you need to see why you were lacking behind, why you could not achieve the desired objective. What was that thing that you failed and you could not achieve this result? Because the desired performance was 1000 crores, but the actual performance is 800 crores. So when you compare the two performances, you'll straight away come to know that there is a deviation of 200 crores. Now you need to see, you need to check why these 200 crores are missing, or why it is your team and you yourself could not work upon to achieve this 200 crores with 800 to achieve a totality of 1000 crores that was desired. This is the control. For example, in a layman language also, I'll tell you that it is you are losing weight, and you have targeted that you will be losing around 5 kgs by the end of the month. You have started your dieting or exercising or this motivation of losing weight, but by the end of the month you see that it is you lost only 1 kg. So now you need to check that what was that you missed that you could not lose more. You have lost 5 kgs or even 6 kgs by the end of that month, then in that case you do not require any controlling. You were better than you were expected. So controlling is basically knowing what actually you have done and comparing with what was expected from you or what was expected from you as employee in the organization. And if there is no deviation, there is nothing to be controlled. But if there is deviation in a negative manner, the things or the actions or the steps or anything that you have done so far, be it in terms of your planning, be it in terms of your organizing, your staffing, your coordination, you are missing somewhere, and you need to check at every point that what is that you have missed and you could not achieve what was desired. This is controlling. Why do we control things, or what is the importance of controlling? See, controlling is done to monitor the organizational performance, to have the efficient execution, to help delegation, to assist coordination, to simplify supervision and aids to efficiency. If it is you find a deviation between the two performances, then you exercise the control function. And if you'll exercise it, then you'll see that you are monitoring the performance, you'll provide efficient execution, you'll help with the delegation that you must have missed earlier, assisting coordination that you must have or may have missed earlier. It simplifies supervision. Now you know what exactly to be supervised, because at this point of thing or at this point you have missed something that you could not achieve the desired result. So now you have simplified the supervision. By this time the manager will come to know that what is that particular thing that needs to be supervised simply, and aids to efficiency. At times you are effective enough, but you are not efficient enough for some reasons, whatever they may be. But by exercising control over your actions and your course of action, you will ultimately improve the efficiency of the organization. Now, the two functions which are left are reporting and budgeting. See what the functions we have discussed so far: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, and controlling. In these, the five were main, and coordinating is more of an add-on function of the directing. Now, reporting and budgeting. Reporting and budgeting is where you are preparing the reports on the various activities of the organization. Why is it required? See, you or anyone in the organization prepare reports to compare the performance of the last year or the current year, or same ways to compare the performances of the two team. You prepare a report, and until and unless you will have a report, you will not find out that what you are lacking behind, or what are your strengths, or what are your weaknesses. Having a report in your hand, you very well know that what are the points that are supposed to be addressed very importantly, and what are the points that you are supposed to ignore. I think is important function, although not the main function, but also still an important function of management. After reporting comes budgeting. You have everything with you. You have good people, or adequate people, I'll rather say. They are well coordinated. You have planned very well how to do the things in coming future to achieve your goal, and you have given them proper directions. But it is, you don't have funds with you. You do not have the control over your expenditure. You have not planned anything in terms of finances. So what will happen? You will drastically fail in your planning, and you will not be able to achieve your desired results. So budgeting is also very important function of management, where you are focusing, where you are paying attention to various resources or the organization. The one important resource is money, and you have to focus on the money. Budgeting is, primarily knowing or deciding how you want to, or how you should spend your money, and what to prioritize with your finances. You have a limited source, you have limited finances with you. Now you should plan accordingly, that what thing is more important and what should be done first, so that you can achieve your organizational goals in a proper manner. So at times, it happens that you have funds, but still you do not know how to spend them, and in that case budgeting always helps you. The budgeting is basically a process where you calculate how much money you must earn and save, during a particular period, and also to plan that how will you spend it, so that you will achieve the organizational goal within a stipulated time, and with an efficient manner, with the finances that were provided to you, or that you have with you. So basically, these all functions of management, when uh, connected together, or when worked together upon, then they provide you with the better management. If it is you are missing any of these things, you may not achieve what you want. And the aim of management, or the aim of managing things, is basically you achieve what you want, or what your organization wants to have your organizational objective achieved. This is about all the functions of management. I hope you must have gained an overview of the functions of management. Now I'll request you all to kindly go through the functions again, and have a detailed study about them. In the next class, we'll start with some other topic, or any other topic of the course principles and practices of management, and see you there. Until then, bye bye, take care, and God bless you. Thank you.